All right, everyone. Modern Minuteman Theory. Hey, we're doing podcast number 15, big 1-5. I'm joined by Brad and Nick.
Hey,
Today, we're gonna kind of just freewheel it. We don't really have, we had a plan for something else, but it didn't really work out. So we're just gonna kind of go with it anyway. We all decided to take time out of our day to meet. So we're just gonna roll with it and kind of see what happens.
yeah. So starting off, there's unrest in the Middle East
Again,
again.
I'm shocked.
Like, you know, just like always.
Just
Anyway,
like always, yes.
but yeah, there's a lot of uprising and stuff happening in Iran where hi Abby, where people are trying to kick out the Ayatollah, and I don't know if they have any replacement for the government, but
My assumption, again, this is my assumption, this is my opinion, is that they're trying to be more westernized. I think they're tired of being under the Sharia law. And I think
is it Sharia law
it
in all
is,
of Iran?
yeah, it is. There's a lot of it. I think they're trying to go back to a more Western style of government. I say that because the one thing that I noticed when I was in Iraq was how Western kind of everything became. While we were there, it was, the females started wearing jeans and shirts and headscarves, but it was they got away from the burqas and the traditional wear in favor of more Western, still following with their religion, but more Western wear, teens and
Well,
t-shirts,
and
but
wasn't Iran like fairly westernized in like the 70s until
79,
the
I
kind
think,
of
is when everything.
Muslim uprisings kind of put the Ayatollah in there?
Yeah, so basically what happened was the Ayatollah took over, and there were actually American hostages that were held, and there was a big effort to get them rescued, but ultimately it failed. There was a lot of stuff that it kind of all went wrong at the same time, and it's actually considered one of the biggest not flummox, one of the biggest failures of the special forces community.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they train on that very hard because a lot of miscommunication between different. So you had the Air Force, you had the Navy, you had everybody wanted to get on board, but nobody had the same radio frequencies. Nobody had the same standard operating procedures. They ran into a sandstorm and the helicopters sucked sand. It was a mess, absolute mess. But yeah, all the way up until that point, they were very, very Western in nature.
Huh. So then I'm assuming the Ayatollah, when that came in, the government is very it's like an Islamic state
Yeah,
thing.
I would equate it to Sharia law.
Okay, so it's
You
like
feel
very, very extreme
Yes,
Islam.
very, very extreme Islam.
Hmm.
Yes,
Well, because isn't Ayatollah like an explicitly religious office?
yes, yes,
Hmm.
yeah. So whereas the American Constitution kind of dictates where we're at, the religion of Islam dictates their kind of their entire thing, like their government and everything like that.
Yeah. Well, maybe if you want to get into it a little bit, Nick and I were talking a few weeks ago or whatever um about the blending of religion and government, and how we both kind of think that always ends up corrupt and always ends up bad. It always ends up corrupting the government, and it always ends up corrupting the religion in some way.
So I would agree with that, with the caveat that the Constitution was written to protect religion from government, not government from religion.
Yes, yes. No,
You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the deal. I would say that I'm going to say it because I'm an American. I mean, I think that the First Amendment is pretty clear in that, the government, you have the right to practice whatever religion you want, and in other religions that's not acceptable, especially, I've a lot. I'm trying to tone it down because there's a lot I want to say about Islam that's not
well,
in the positive light, but they don't tolerate other religions like other religions tolerate them.
well, I don't know. So I would say that um I would say that the majority of religions if not all of them. There's probably some out there that do, but the majority of religions are intolerant to other religions to an extent. So
Yes.
like,
Because the very nature of like a religious ideology is like we think we're right and everybody else is wrong. Like
exactly.
unless it's kind of like a universalist kind of thing, which I don't know, is barely a religion to a degree because it's like everybody's right. But if you say my God is the true God, then that suggests that at minimum all the other gods are weaker than yours, and you're the best.
Valid, yeah.
or that the other gods aren't necessarily weaker, but just don't exist at all.
Right. Right. At maximum, they are weaker, but more often than not, it's like they're just not real gods. Like since the advent of monotheism, like we've moved away from well, my God's just better than yours, and now we're just your God is a lie and my God is true.
Right.
Yeah, but so I don't know that it's fair to say that any religion is tolerant of other religions. However, I think you can have religious people that are tolerant of other people that practice other religions.
Yeah, but here's the bare bones of it. And you may need to edit this.
Sure.
Is Sharia law is not in conjunction with the Constitution. The two cannot work together. Period. The end. It is impossible.
Yes.
They cannot coexist peacefully. That is not something that can happen.
That's fair.
Regardless, if you look at the tenets of Sharia law and you look at the tenets of the Constitution, they are diametrically opposed.
Yeah. Well, and those who practice Sharia law and who believe in that form of Islam, it's I guess it kind of goes back to what you're saying before, is that I guess that is more intolerant. It's violently intolerant.
Right.
Because there's a certain group of Muslims that believe that the infidels should be put to death.
Right.
But I guess you don't see that in other religions as often.
Yeah.
Well, at the very least, not in the modern world. Like there
Right.
definitely been times throughout history where, like, I mean, Christianity has had its times where there have been violent wars against other religions because they aren't worshiping the true God. But I do think that generally speaking, in the modern world, and maybe it's also more prevalent in Islam in general, but Islam tends to be where the radicalism is right now. Of we're going to kill people that disagree with us.
That is true, but I will say, like with Christianity in the past, like in the Crusades, you have Christians going and killing Muslims because they aren't Christian and they had a war and all this stuff. However, I think it is a little bit different, not necessarily excusing that, but when you're fighting another religion because you're at war for whatever reason, that's different than just saying all non-believers need to be put to death.
Well, yeah, but they're also facing Christianity, where Christians went out and had pogroms and killed Jews, or like the burning of witches was essentially you're in violation of our religions, we're going to kill you, sort of thing.
True. That was kind of a Puritan thing, right?
Yeah, well, no, the witch burning, I believe was most prominent there, but like the pogroms of the Jews was throughout Europe for like a large percentage of the Middle Ages.
Yeah, no, I meant the witch burning. That was like a Puritan thing, right?
I think it was most prevalent in Puritanism, if I remember right.
They said,
but though I do think that there were like witch hunts and executions for witchcraft before Puritans too.
From bad wheat. They said that there was a bad wheat whip. That there was a ergot. I'm sorry, ergot. Not that's. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was a fungus that was on the grains,
and it gets in your brain and makes you crazy. Wait, no. They were saying that like the people that were accusing people of witchcraft were tripping, or
everybody was.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
it was the entire community because the entire grain supply was tainted.
Smart people are speaking.
So one mass horrible trip.
That's what it seemed like to me.
Right. Well, that's no. PBS says that. PBS says that it was God, but
yeah, The elementary school version.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people have been killing people in the name of their God for such a long time, and it's gonna cycle. My absolute hope is that the people of Iran the get the government that they want by their own means.
Well, and hopefully it is better than what they have.
Yes,
Because even if they get the government they want, it's possible that the government they want is not going to be any better to them.
Well, and you're right. I mean, like I said, look at France after the Civil War. It was like 15 years of anarchy. You know, everybody had the best idea, and nobody, they all just duked it out.
Yeah.
You know,
So hopefully the people of Iran gain much needed freedom.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what else is happening in the world?
Hey, gold and silver are at a record high.
Oh yeah.
Silver's at $90 an ounce.
That is
15 years ago, it was $20 an ounce.
I noticed today gold backs are almost $10 for one gold back.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, stock market tanked, but the gold market and the silver market went up. So
well, that's usually kind of how it goes, you know.
Right.
I mean, it's all about the the stock market is all about everybody's emotional state, and then gold and silver is about how strong the dollar is.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So when gold and silver goes up, usually means the dollar is weaker.
I think that's a fair way of looking at it, that like gold is gold.
Yeah.
So if the value of gold goes up, is the value of gold going up or is the value of the dollar going down?
Oh, it's always it's definitely the value of the dollar is going down. That's why they say that gold and silver are they're stable assets. They're stores of wealth. That's why they call them that, because if you know, in 1950, if you had $50,000 and you kept it in cash and put it in a little hidey hole in your house, and then in 2025 you open up the wall and find $50,000 in cash. Yeah, you know, $50,000 in cash would be great, but
$50,000 means nothing.
yeah, $50,000 in 1950s,
Right.
something like $250,000
Right.
today. So if they would have bought gold back then,
Yes.
you know, it'd be the same amount of gold, however much. One gold bar worth $50,000 back then is a gold bar worth $250,000 now.
Right. But see, here's my advice to our viewers. If you see it go down, buy it, because it that's
well, or just buy it anyway.
Right.
Historically, over time, it has gone up. It's not something that you buy to flip in a week. It's something that
you're right.
You buy and hold on to for decades.
Right.
Well, it's also your way of not being beholden to like the monetary system. Like they inflate the currency every year, at least in part to incentivize people to spend their money, so they don't just hold on to it. Because if you hold on to it, it gets worth less.
Yeah.
But if you invest it into the economy, then that makes all the financial people happy. Whereas if you can get away from that cycle and just be like, well, no, this is my wealth, I'm going to hang on to it. That's what those stable assets of like gold and stuff are for. It's like you're not tied then to the interest rates and the inflation and stuff that gets through the central bank.
Yeah, or I mean, and not just silver and gold. Silver and gold are good because the barrier to entry is low, but other real physical assets like real estate or whatever.
The problem with real estate is that it is insanely expensive right now.
Like that's what I'm saying. Is gold and silver, the barrier to entry is low.
Right.
Real estate,
holy God,
barrier is very high right now.
Incredibly high.
Yeah.
So we're looking at moving a city over, and my wife and I spent the summer looking for houses. The only houses we could get were less profitable than our house right now, because the interest rates are so high and the inflation is so high. Yeah, it was impossible. We couldn't find a house that was,
well, unless you want a dump that needs a lot of work.
We ruled that idea around too. It was
get half the house.
Yes, half the house. Yes.
We could sell this house and get half the house for the same price.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is insanity. Like, and that's why, I think that real estate, yes, property and land, 100%, but man, oh man, the initial price shock is just like, holy God,
Yeah. Well, you should see, Nick, are you willing to talk about the thing that you sent me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So they're going to be putting in an offer on a place. And let me tell you what, for like the same price that you'd probably pay to buy your house, he's putting in an offer on, like 2,500 square foot house and 10 acres.
Holy shit.
That's the other wild thing about the housing market and real estate is like where you are makes a radical difference in terms of the
Boy,
cost.
how-
Like, because like I can remember when we bought our house in Indiana, the same type of house for my friend in California would have been like triple the price. But that's because he's in California compared to Indiana. So like the housing market in where we're at in Oklahoma is again on the lower end nationally, and so we're able to get way more than a lot of people that I know just based on where we live.
Do yourself a favor and don't look at that house price pre-COVID.
Oh, I know. Well, now I was thinking, so we bought our house in Indiana right before COVID. It was like 2019, I think.
Yeah.
And so then we made a decent amount when we sold it because it spiked. And I had some friends that were trying to buy in the middle of the whole COVID thing, and they ended up giving up on trying to buy, and they had family give them land and they built because like they got to a point where they were trying to get this house and there was a bidding war and somebody put in an offer and waived the inspection. He's like, I'm not inspecting a house. And so like that's how heated it was during COVID. Like people were just scrambling over each other to try and get houses, and that just shot the prices up. And they've dipped a little bit over the last year or so, but not near the spike they got during
I will
COVID.
tell all of our viewers, do not ever skimp on the home inspection. You want the most anal retentive home inspector there is.
Yep.
Trust me.
Yes.
That is definitely $900 well spent. That's yeah. Because we've had two at this point. One on the house we didn't buy, but another one on the house that we did buy, and boy, that was super helpful.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I guess there are some situations where you wouldn't need one, like if you are buying a dump and it's a dump and you're just going to tear it down.
Right.
You don't need a home inspection on the house you're going to tear down.
Or like we talked about buying a nuclear missile silo.
Yeah.
I'm not sure you'd need it. I don't know what a home inspector would do for that, but
I don't know. You'd need a nuclear bunker.
I've also heard of folks that have like family that are inspectors that they just have them come with them to look at the house. And so then they just look it over. I mean, it's basically like a free inspection anyways. But
yeah.
I've heard those situations where they'd like waive the inspection for the offer because they have someone that's looking at it with them that is an inspector.
I mean, that's fair, but yeah. That's one of those things where, my hire a professional that knows what they're doing,
It's like even new construction, you can't trust it. Like like new construction is almost worse, I think, than old construction.
That's funny because we were just doing a thing and we were at a house that's being built, and I looked up at the roof. I was like, what the hell is going on here? I don't know the first thing about construction, but I'm like, I feel like these two pieces need to be put together. Like I feel like that's a big deal.
Okay. To be fair, this is a very fancy new house that's under construction.
Incredibly fancy.
We were doing an install on, and like it's just bare framing at this point. So there's a lot of things that you didn't see connected that are going to.
I sure hope so. Man. I remember, I told Brad, we were, like, hey man, I'm not a huge fan of roofs. He's like, okay, I'll get on the roof. And so I ended up getting on the scaffolding and like looking down. I'm like, what is going on here? I'm so confused.
Yeah, the roof on this place is still open. They haven't put the roofing on, and they're blowing foam insulation in here because it's a log home. So there's no like attic space. It's just, I don't know, like a foot of.
I'll tell you what, man, that stuff's tough, man. Yeah. I was able to slide down it. I was like, okay.
When we first started, this morning, and it was all still frosty. It was a little slippery, a little butt puckery, but once it started warming up and all that melted, it actually was pretty grippy.
Yeah.
It was pretty easy to climb up and down. So, and I bet it does really well at keeping that place
I bet you're right. It was
warm.
It was solid stuff, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's always the question too. Do you buy a chunk of land and build your own home, or do you buy a home that's already made? I'm just fine living in a comics box. I've done it before.
Yeah. You know, so if it was just me, I'd be okay just like living in a camper until I got something built.
Well, right.
You know,
You and I talked about it today. If I had $3 million, I wouldn't be building up. I'd be building down into the ground.
yeah.
Well,
Right.
and we talked about that too when we were looking at properties, just like, because I care much more about the land, my wife cares much more about the house, and so like trying to balance that. And I'm like, well, one of our options would be we could get way more land for way cheaper if we bought a place as a mobile home and then just plan to build on it in a few years what we want. But then that also means living in a mobile home for a few years, which my wife is not okay with, particularly in Tornado Alley.
I was gonna say, there's two things about that. Number one, tornadoes have mobile home radar, so I would be concerned about that. And two, I thought there were nuclear missile bases in Oklahoma.
There may be, not
Yeah.
where we're looking, but I think farther out west.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, like the northwest corner of Oklahoma, I thought actually had nuclear missile bases.
The panhandle.
I'd believe
Yeah.
it.
is
So
just-
if you want to be safe from tornadoes, man, nothing safer than tornadoes than a nuclear missile base.
I thought to be safe from getting sucked up by a tornado, you just needed a water pipe and a belt.
Well, if you go back to R.I.P.
Oh, I wonder how many people are going to actually get that reference. I wonder, how young is the audience? Or do we have?
We got some old people in our audience.
Okay.
Cal, another Cal. I think that's the same Cal.
Did you watch Twisters?
I did. I was not impressed.
No.
No.
I thought it was okay.
The facts
I
and
haven't-
all.
I haven't watched it yet because Whitney had never seen Twister, and so we watched that the other day. And so she's seen it
okay.
now,
Okay.
but we haven't gotten around to watching the second one yet because I've heard it's not as good as the first. I'm like, do I really have to watch another crappy reboot?
Well, so it's not as bad as like the Ghostbusters.
Sharknado 2. Oh.
Like,
Yes, I do know that. Sharknado was the OG. I mean, we're talking about tornadoes. I just figured.
yeah. Okay. Speaking of really crappy movies that are actually great, have you ever seen Sharktopus versus Mega Croc or something
No,
like that?
I have not.
Oh yeah, that one is awful but awesome. Or do you remember that one, Nick?
No, I don't know if I ever saw that one.
No, I swear we watched it together because that was the one where like half the time. Oh, I'm okay. Where like half the time they were in the helicopter.
I don't remember that.
They were like, "Oh, we need to go to this place. Let's get in the helicopter." And then they'd have this little conversation in the helicopter, and then they'd do something. Be like, "Oh, we need to go to this place. Let's get in the
They
helicopter."
spent the whole film budget on a helicopter.
No. No,
It's just one helicopter.
no, they didn't have a helicopter. No, it was like a little tiny. They had like seats and like a helicopter window that
Cardboard box.
had nothing behind it.
We watched. What did we watch? Which was actually amazing and terrible at the same time. The one about where they end up transported back in time.
Oh,
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
No, it was
it
like
was a dinosaur movie.
it was
What?
hilarious.
Oh wait.
and terrible.
I think was it like Primal something?
Yeah.
Yes.
I saw the trailer for that and I thought it looked kind of cool.
Do yourself a favor. Watch it.
Okay.
Do yourself. It's got Burt Gummer.
Primal War.
Yeah. Oh, it's fantastic.
Like I can tell you.
It is so great. The CGI is the worst thing you've ever seen, but it is awesome. Yes.
Speaking of terrible CGI, have you ever seen Shark Side of the Moon?
No.
I was just thinking about that. I still haven't watched that yet. It's still on my list.
That is a terrible movie. That is That's a really awful movie.
I'm gonna have
but,
to check that out.
yeah. Kind of the same.
Humanoid sharks on the dark side of the moon.
Yeah. Wait, did you watch it?
Not yet. It's on my list. I keep seeing it on there. I'm like, I need to watch that one of these days.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
So one of the things that you guys were talking about in the last podcast that I wanted to bring up was you're talking about seizure, asset forfeiture and seizure.
Yeah.
So the way that works is the individual department that finds it and applies for the asset and seizure has the right to that, whatever items they are. So let's say I pull a car over and it has 5 pounds of heroin and $200,000 in cash.
Yeah.
Okay. I can justify that cash is directly related to a crime. Now, this is not the same in all states. Other states have it set up differently. But in Montana, you have to be able to justify that the money that was seized is also being used in the crime. It's the only way that you can seize it.
Huh.
I know that there's been a whole bunch of corruption allegations with other states where they were just like, oh, you're carrying $50. Well, I think that, in Montana, I have to be able to justify that the money that is in the vehicle with you at the time of the crime is being used for said crime. At which point we can file for an asset forfeiture, and if deemed appropriate by a judge, it becomes our money. Now, it cannot be used for anything other than what it so it would be used for drug interdiction, right?
Oh.
So you would have to justify, okay, so we need a new vehicle for drug interdiction for this, and that would be the only way that you could use it. So you couldn't go, okay, we have this money for drug forfeiture, but we're going to use it for the range. I mean, unless you could
justify that, yeah,
you're going to be battling cartel members. That's the only way that you can do it. You have to be able to once you seize it, you have to be able to articulate why you're using it and what you're using it for.
So but you couldn't be like, oh, we just got 50 grand, so we're gonna, take everybody on a cruise.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. So that's what that's for. And I know a lot of guys in Idaho that did that. They would do the asset forfeiture, and they ended up getting new vehicles for their departments, like that was kind of how they were able to justify. They were able to justify it. But yes, that's how asset forfeiture and seizure, and there's actually a specific code in Montana for that. It's a felony code. It doesn't have any jail time associated with it, but it's an additional charge that you put on it.
Huh.
So if you have, you have possession of dangerous drugs with intent to distribute, you have, criminal mischief, and then you have seizure, asset seizure and forfeiture is basically the code. And so you put that in, and then that they bring that to court, and the judge rules on it.
So you don't just get to say, oh, this is mine. It actually
Absolutely
has
not.
to get.
Absolutely not. No, much like everything else in Montana, it has to be agreed upon by a judge.
So we were talking before, like within the context of the privateers and letters of marque.
So that I don't know. That's kind of the interesting part. That would be the thing. That's what here's what I think would ultimately happen. I think what would ultimately happen is they would say, okay, we're going to put a bounty on the drugs. You bring us the drugs. We will take custody of them and we will pay you. So 3.5 keys of Coke, and they would pay you. I don't know what the going rate for Coke is. I just don't know. But they would pay you the street price or under the street price in cash, so you could continue doing whatever it is. Now you could also go and sell the boat or whatever other equipment that they had, but I'm pretty sure the drugs, they would be like, no, those are ours. We will pay you cash money for those as long as you turn them in.
Yeah, but what if you stopped a cartel boat, you arrested the people on the boat, and they had $100,000 in cash in there?
That is yours. Yes, that is yours.
Okay.
I think they're most concerned about drugs getting into the United States.
Yeah.
So they would make sure that the drugs got handled correctly.
Though, wouldn't it be wild if we just had a whole bunch of drugged out pirates that were taking over these cartel boats just to get the drugs?
That could entirely become something that happens.
That might almost make them more dangerous and effective pirates, because they're like, I gotta get my fix, gotta get another cartel boat.
Right. I think in the perfect world, like when we talk about letters of marque, that's kind of how I would see that go in a perfect world.
Hmm.
Because there's no way they're just going to be like, oh, well, you get to keep the drugs. Absolutely not. They don't,
Oh yeah, of course not. Of course not.
Yeah,
Or-
because the purpose is to get the drugs out of
if
the
that's what they're saying,
populace,
if that's really what, where they're going with that, then I would think that would be the only way to do it.
Yeah. Now, how much do you think they would pay if you, gave them an oil tanker?
I don't know. Only one way to find out.
Yeah.
I'd be lying if I said I haven't been thinking about it.
I'm going to Google the current price of cocaine.
Yes.
Do you think? Well, I would assume it depends on where you are. And
No.
who's distributing?
Cocaine. I have run into cocaine twice.
Yeah.
In 10 years.
Well, you don't actually think they care about cocaine coming to the United States.
No, I think it's mostly fentanyl.
Yeah.
Which doesn't come up.
No.
But
Right now we're paying about $1,000 an ounce.
holy
For
shit.
really high grades.
Well, see, so that's what I'm saying though. Is it depends on the grade. I would
Right,
assume that
right.
like if there's only one guy in Lincoln County, Montana, that deals coke.
There's actually several, but
Well, I'm just saying.
Nobody can afford it.
right.
But if there's only one guy, he gets to set his price.
Yes. No, you're right. Yes. Yeah.
So that's black market is the free market. You're right. Don't buy drugs.
Right. But no, that's at least in Montana, because I've dealt with it before. That's how it goes, is that it has to be approved by a judge, and then you have to account for every single dollar that's used.
Yeah.
And it has to be used for department use.
But you think the privateers, there wouldn't be something like that?
There could be, because if you're operating in international waters, there's no law.
But it's still. So here's the other thing then, is are they going to try to charge you taxes on that?
Probably. Yes, I'm government.
Because that's income, even though you.
Oh, I would literally be 12.1 miles off the coast yelling at the DEA agent, I'm not paying taxes on this. Do you want this or not? I'm not paying taxes. I'm not paying it. Do you want it or not? If not, I'll tuck it overboard.
I'll meet you over if you wanna.
We're in international waters. There ain't no taxes in international waters.
But
That's
go to
how
Mexico
taxes work,
too.
honey. Taxes work on wherever you're a citizen. You're paying.
Hey, what they don't know about now, but that's the thing. Okay, if you got $100,000 in United States dollars, and you went over to Mexico, because like when I was in Mexico, we were in Baja California, and a lot of the places that we went accepted either pesos or United States dollars. So if you went to a place in Mexico that accepted United States dollars, you could live there,
Right.
and not have to pay any taxes.
And you're right. I mean, but
Well, but would you then be like a federal contractor? So like if you work for the government overseas and you get paid by the government, I assume you still have to pay taxes on that salary. So if technically your compensation...
If you are in a danger zone, you do not. If you are in an active danger zone, you do not.
No, it's like what Brad's talking about. You'd have to pay Mexican income taxes, which would be significantly lower.
Right.
Than you would be getting paid as a contractor by the United States.
Right. Okay. Yes. Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or buy a boat home? But yeah, that would be the only way that I could foresee this actually being a viable thing. Because if you have Americans going out and stealing cartel cocaine and then selling it, that doesn't help the problem.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
It really doesn't.
Yeah,
Well, that's like privateers that just turn straight pirate and then just start stealing from everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Well, what else is going on?
Uh, all sorts
The
of.
new food pyramid dropped.
Oh yeah, I haven't heard about that.
I knew what?
The new food pyramid.
Oh, there's a new food pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it shifted to where like protein and fats and vegetables are the biggest section. And then it kind of narrows down to like fruits and then grains at the bottom.
It's like upside down?
Yes.
Basically, yeah.
Yes.
Oh. Well, I mean, it makes a little more sense,
Yeah.
protein and
Yeah.
fats being bigger than.
I mean, I did lose 100 pounds on carnivore, so like there's something to it. I don't know how like long-term sustainable, healthy that sort of thing is, but it was at least healthier than the standard American diet I was eating before.
Right.
Well, I wonder too if proteins are less calorie dense, and so you end up feeling fuller quicker without eating as many calories.
Well, so I have a theory, and I don't have anything to back this up other than just my experience. So when I was full on carnivore, my food cravings pretty much went away. Like I wasn't snacky. I didn't snack like at all.
Huh.
So my theory is, if you think about like how you'd get carbs and how you get fats and proteins in like a hunter-gatherer type society, if you eat a whole bunch of carbs, that means you're around a bunch of plants that you can eat. And so the incentive would be, if you're moving around, to eat all of those carbs and then move on. So you'd want to be kind of stay put and sluggish to eat all those carbs, take advantage of that. Whereas if you're eating a bunch of fat and protein, it's, okay, I killed this one animal. I'm not going to get more until I kill another animal. And so there's not the incentive to gorge yourself so much, and your body shifts to make yourself more kind of energetic and stuff to then continue the hunt. So I wonder if there's a component of your body's adapted to where when you're eating a lot of carbs, it says, oh, we have an abundance right here. We're going to stay put and just eat and eat and eat until they're gone. And then who knows when we'll have all these carbs again.
Interesting. That's that's a really that's a very
I think that's an interesting theory. However, I think you're not applying Occam's razor.
In what
Or-
way? Because I'll say, like, when I was full carnivore, in terms of like the volume of food I was eating, the volume was lower.
Yes.
So it wasn't like I was eating the same quantity of food and it was just less calorie dense. So I felt full because I had less calorie dense food. I was eating less food, but I felt full.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So if a food is less calorie dense, it means you can eat more of it without consuming so many calories. So like a simple carbohydrate like sugar, for example, is very calorie dense. So you can eat, the amount of sugar in a Coke, gets the Coke up to like 200 calories, and 200 calories worth of protein is like, the size of your hand or so, generally. What I'm saying is, if you eat less calorie dense food, it fills you up more because you eat more of it because there's fewer calories.
No. So my point is, before I went carnivore, I would eat like 2 full plates of food that had, mashed potatoes and bread and pasta and all that on it.
Yes.
After I went carnivore, there were times I ate half a steak and I was full.
Yeah, we're saying
No.
the same thing basically.
No, so what I'm hearing you say is that because the protein is not as calorie dense, you eat more of it, and so you are full because you're filled with more mass, but it has less calories. And I'm saying I
Okay.
consumed more mass when I was eating more carbs.
Okay, no, that is what I was saying. I get what you're saying now. I was confused.
Yeah. And so it wasn't a matter of I was full of less calorie dense food. It was a matter of my body was satisfied with what I was consuming more.
all I know is that salad makes me full. Yeah, that's
salad's good. I just I like vegetables. I could be a vegetarian if I didn't like meat. But
Yeah.
I just
I know. See, I could do it. I could do it with eggs and cheese.
Nah, I like meat too much, I think.
Okay.
Eggs and cheese are definitely up there too. But meat.
I could give up meat and do eggs and cheese and stuff like that. Just not for any, moral conviction or anything. It's like I'd just be,
I think it would be hard to give up eggs. I think I could give up cheese. I think it would also be hard,
right.
but I think I could give
Really?
up cheese. Yeah.
Nope.
Never give up.
Never, ever. Absolutely not.
Cheese is literally an opiate in your brain.
Is
Is
it
it
really?
really?
There's a chemical in most cheeses that your body, it's in small amounts, but your body reacts the same way to it as it reacts to opiates.
Oh my God, that explains so much.
Hmm.
Oh my God, that explains so much.
Okay, wait. Let's air this out real quick. Are Kraft singles cheese?
No.
No.
Okay,
No.
I agree. It's
There is such thing as
What?
American cheese that is
Did I
cheese, but
did
it's
I
not
bless
Kraft
you with
singles.
jalapeno cheese spread yet?
No.
Oh, you're talking about like from the MREs? I remember that.
Yeah,
it's like
I had that in ROTC.
we got a 30-pack of
Listen, you son of a bitch.
them.
If you in any way jeopardize my stash of jalapenos,
So it's a cheese like, what did you describe it as?
cheese food. It tastes
Cheese
like food.
cheese food.
It's an edible
Yeah,
cheese-like
it's
substance.
nutritionally, sure, it's not. It's has the same ingredients as cheese. But
And not even run alone. Enjoy it.
Oh.
I thought we could
Do you put it on crackers or what?
Yes.
Now, if he's going to be addicted,
Yes.
now we're going to have to order it in bulk.
Yes.
I mean, I
So-
can remember in high school when I was in ROTC, we had those for the spring camp, and I just saved them and I'd eat them when we were out hiking. I just squirt a little bit in my
Yep.
mouth and keep going.
Yup.
So is it like, it's like cream cheese?
It's like
it-
cheese whiz.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like a thick cheese whiz.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
But it's actually pretty decent.
It's actually pretty, so it's not
Pretty
like,
decent.
So I told Corey that's why war was why war was worth fighting. It was strictly for the ultimate cheese, but no moral, no ethical.
So I give him some
Not
rosemary.
not the pan-coated chocolate discs.
Oh yeah, right. Yep.
huh. Okay. So they got you addicted to this and cigarettes so you can go fight war.
And
Yeah.
caffeine.
And caffeine.
Caffeine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
if
Ribbits.
cheese has an opiate in it, and that's like got all the regular ingredients of cheese, do you think they just stuck some heroin in there to really get you hooked?
Well, I don't know. I know we buy a 30-pack of it every couple of weeks.
It's Pervitin. They put Pervitin in it.
Fermented, yes.
Pasomorphins, which have an opiate-like effect.
From
You know,
cheese.
Pasomorphins, yeah.
No
Pasomorphins.
way.
Interesting.
Affects the rewards.
Well, I'll tell you what. I always
Oh,
feel
big
rewarded
one.
when I eat cheese. So there's that.
So what energy drinks did you have?
Ribbits.
Ribbits?
Yeah.
Did you have the tiger one?
So okay. So look, we had. If you actually went off base and you went to like an Iraqi shop, there are these things called bonbons.
Uh-huh.
They were probably like no joke crystal meth in a can. Like I mean, there were no rules because again, it's not the United States startup.
Yeah.
I don't know
It's
how
like
many
those gas
milligrams
station
of caffeine
pills.
in it, but I would have to say all of them because it was like you just be like, you ever see the episode of The Simpsons where Apu takes so many antihistamines that he thinks that he's a hummingbird and he just goes around. No, I haven't seen that one. Yeah, that was Iraqi boom boom.
Crap and medicine. There we go. I'm sending you the article for. It's from Mount Sinai, so
Oh,
Yes.
for the
fairly
cheese.
accurate. Yeah, cheese opiates,
What's Mount Sinai besides the place in
Medical.
the Bible?
medical center,
Oh, okay.
pretty reputable medical center.
Okay. I don't often read medical articles, so I don't know.
Wait, so here's what we do. If we just subsidize the cheese industry, then we can get rid of the drug problem. Just everybody eats cheese.
Don't get me started. Okay.
Damn the cheese.
Gonna send you something tonight. It was done by the fat electrician. There is a goddamn government conspiracy over cheese. No joke. It's a real fucking thing.
It's not a conspiracy if everyone knows about it.
Yeah, it is for real. So since the 40s, the America has been subsidizing cheese.
And
That's why Pizza Hut and Domino's and all these places get their cheese for free, and they give out free milk. And it's a whole thing. I will send it to you. I actually gave up American made cheese for a year because I was so pissed off after hearing there's a goddamn conspiracy about it.
Have you heard about the Federal Raisin Reserve?
Yes. Yeah, over that as well. Yes.
Yeah, same thing.
Same thing.
About that.
Yeah. I will send you the fat electrician thing on cheese. Prepare to have your mind blown. It is a real thing.
I bet the
Oh,
Canadians.
I believe it.
They do.
No,
They do. No, they do. They literally do. That is, along with their oil, that is one of the things they have as an actual
And they
maple syrup.
subsidize lumber, which is why we can't have small lumber mills anymore. They're not profitable because Canada subsidizes their lumber. We can't compete.
Oh.
So everybody's like, living needs to log again.
Nowhere
What's this?
needs to log again.
It's the same sort of reason of like why Mexican Coke has real sugar in it is because the American sugar farmers didn't want to import all this cheap Central and South American sugar, so they limited sugar imports, which made high fructose corn syrup way cheaper than sugar. And so you get around that by shipping a beverage with a sugar in it, but you can't import that much sugar.
Oh, okay.
I did know it was way cheaper to produce high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah. Well,
Why would we do it?
isn't there something to do with subsidizing corn production
Yes,
too?
that too. Yeah,
Because,
subsidized corn.
you can make so much, you make so many things with corn, including high fructose corn syrup and biodiesel.
We don't like socialism unless it's corn syrup and soybeans, education.
Yeah.
I did see this short of this kid who's like on a farm. He's like, "Watch me turn these soybeans into burgers," and then he fed them to his cow.
That's awesome.
My favorite is a little.
No, that's
burger. Cheese on that. Oh, you haven't seen that?
I haven't seen that. Talking to a cow or something?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Awful. It's horrible. Like, why do you guys? No, it's not a burger. No. No, it's not a burger. No problem. They're like a
Cheese
figure
on
or something.
That's awesome. My buddy Harley, he got pigs a year or so ago, and I used to joke with him because he likes animals. He's like,
All right, man. I'm sending it to you right now.
he's a very animal loving guy, but he got these pigs to grow for meat. And I was like, oh, you should name that one pork chop and that one bacon and that one pulled pork. And he thought that was funny. And then he named them, normal names.
Did he save one? I bet he saved one.
I was surprised.
All right, man. Check your
butchered-
phone.
He actually did them all.
All right.
Yeah. I was surprised he even butchered one because,
Got attached to him.
yeah, he's got a soft spot for animals.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I'm eating them, but like,
Yeah.
when I was a kid, we raised all our own animals. So if they had names,
Oh, oh. So Nick, if you get this place, are you guys going to raise animals?
That's the plan. So it's already set up for chickens. So we'll probably, I don't know if we'll try and get them this year or wait until next year, but definitely start with chickens just to, dip our toes in the water. But I'd
What
like
about
to
emu?
eventually have
I'll
a small
buy an
flock
emu.
of cheek. My wife really wants ducks, and
Okay.
with the price of buying a goose, I'd like to just raise a goose because I like the idea of having goose for Christmas dinner, but it's like $150 to get a goose. I'm like,
cow.
I'm not going to
You
spend
know,
that money on a goose.
Goose are fantastic guardian animals, man.
Oh, yeah.
They don't, yeah.
You're gonna kill it after it protects your house.
Yeah, that's a good life. You're like,
And if you have several geese, then you can kill one and you still have another one to protect your house.
yeah,
But I'd eventually like a small flock of sheep just because I really like lamb. And my boss already is raising pigs. So I don't need, I can just trade him the mutton for the pork and I'll be all set.
nice.
There you go. Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
Nice. Like that.
Well, if we become pirates, we'll have all the fresh fish that we could ever want.
Yeah. Well, yeah, 'cause we're not hunting the cartel. We'll
We
be
hunt
fishing.
the fishing, yes.
Yeah. I've only ever been ocean fishing once, and I got very sick.
Yeah.
But I was, to be fair, that day I was sick before I got on the boat. So I don't know. I think, Nick, do you remember that? You were there too. That was when we were on Uncle Keith's boat.
Yeah, I was going to say, we went out, we didn't catch anything, right? So we were trying to get salmon and we didn't catch anything.
Yeah, we didn't catch anything.
We're just trawling with the poles behind the boat.
Yeah.
All right, Nick, I got one for you. I came up with a new video idea, and I kind of want to see your thoughts behind it.
Okay.
So I'm running on 2 hours of sleep over the last 30 hours. Because
That's my fault.
That's fine. I worked an entire shift at work, doing an entire 12-hour shift at work, and then I came home, got like at 2 hours of sleep, and then came out and have been up since like 7 a.m. to help him with his project. I want to do a study, Minuteman study on sleep deprivation. So here's what I'm thinking. And I want to see kind of what everybody in the room thinks. My thought is to wake up, have a good night of sleep, wake up, take a comprehension test, just a regular comprehension test. No, basic math, basic reading, and basic all that stuff. Then we'll go to the range and we'll do basic, magazine reload, basic shooting, basic all just the very, very basic stuff, right? Like we have a shot timer, and we do that, and we find out, okay, this is kind of your baseline for when you're well rested. Then we fast forward and we stay up for however long, minimum 24 hours, closer probably to 30. Then we go back and we do it again, and we see. And you do this exact same thing and kind of see what it is, kind of the variation in between the two. I believe for myself there will be very much a marked decrease, because I can always feel it. I can feel myself getting slower. I can feel my neurons aren't clicking in my brain like they normally do. I can absolutely feel it, and that starts after about hour 22, but it gets really, really bad around hour 30. So I'd like to just kind of see, and then we could, go to hour 30 or whatever, if you can't handle it, that's fine. But whoever can handle it, I feel like that would be a really interesting kind of study to do, like for us,
And then we experiment with a couple different ways of maybe combating that. Like, does caffeine help? Does nicotine help? Like,
yes. Okay.
That's an interesting idea.
Yes, that is a very
I like
interesting
that.
idea. I like that.
so we do the because sometimes, like, you might be in a situation where you have to be sleep deprived to survive. So what are things that you can do to help mitigate that inevitable decrease in your capacity?
Right. And I know, that's what I'm saying, because I remember hearing this. I remember hearing a Army veteran. He was in World War II, and they were doing kind of that sort of study on some troops, and all the troops are like, "Oh yeah, I aced that test." After they had been sleep deprived for however long, and they ended up failing it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm curious to see that, because again, there are times in my life where I have to stay up between 24 and 48 hours, and I just want to see what the actual market decrease is in me.
Yeah.
I would even say driving, but I don't know how we would be able to do driving.
Yeah.
That would be really.
When you had mentioned that before and we were out there working, I was actually thinking about that, because they always say,
Yes.
being sleep deprived is similar to driving under the influence of alcohol.
I could tell you that it is. I'm glad you drove the entire time, because I was like, we were on the road. I was like, oh no,
And I can tell you that I have driven sleep deprived when I was younger. And
Right.
I don't recommend it.
right.
And it's it's definitely more difficult to pay attention. And
Yeah.
I've never driven drunk, so I don't know what that's like, but I would assume it's somewhat similar.
Right.
Right. I wonder if we could do, because of course it wouldn't be safe to just put you behind the wheel.
I'd say no, absolutely not.
But
So anyway, all that being said, I volunteer as tribute because I don't expect you guys, but I've also been through this before. I've also been through all of this before.
I'd be down to do it too.
Would you? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we could also you could potentially look into some kind of like a driving simulator type program there might be one out there that already measures like driving competence and reaction times and that sort of thing.
Right.
Worth researching.
Right.
Yeah.
Because even if it's not safe to get behind the wheel, if we get, a wheel and pedals set up with a simulator on a computer, it would be not the same, but close enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, like I said, I was just like, hey, you know what? I feel like this is actually something that's like could be pretty useful. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
you mentioned like taking a comprehension test and stuff. And that reminded me of a statistic I heard recently. And I don't know how true it is, but it's kind of scary that only 14% of Americans read above a 9th grade reading level.
She's nodding her head. She would know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd believe that.
That is kind of awful.
It's worse than that. Half of the kids who are public school right now are functionally illiterate.
Wow. Really?
It's a national crisis. Everything's turning towards literacy right now. We just had to go watch a film. It's Stephen Curry narrated it. It was called what was it called?
But yeah. So while we're
Sobering.
transitioning into the next thing, I just think that would be a cool thing to try.
Yeah. No, I think we should do it.
Yeah.
Well, and
sure.
we talked about in order to stay up, we can have a LAN party too. So.
Yes, there's all sorts of, all sorts of stuff that we could do. It's not, you know what I mean? And obviously if, something happens, it's not, we're doing this just because we want to do this, you know what I mean? And if one of us, if we can't handle it, we just, cash it in. But
yeah. Nick, do you have access to like a computer with Windows XP or older?
Not currently, but I do have a spare computer that I'm not using right now that I could potentially get set up if I needed to.
One that's old enough to run like Windows XP?
Maybe. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I think the one I gave you doesn't that have.
We need to talk about specific as to what that would look like. If I need to like have a virtual machine of XP, would that work, or would that be too?
I mean, you
resource
could.
heavy.
That's kind of cheating. So what I was thinking is we could do some sort of old school LAN party, kind of like we used to. We'll rock the old computers with like Windows XP or Windows 98 or
Halo, baby.
Yeah, we could play Halo.
I'm assuming I could get a 15-year-old computer for probably pretty cheap somewhere.
Or free, maybe. But anyway, and then what we would have to do to make it secure for you, because you should, this is for all those people out there listening, do not plug your Windows XP computer into the internet.
But, oh, no shit.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Very, very insecure.
Okay.
Because as soon as they stop supporting the operating system, they stop fixing any virus issues with it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Windows XP is like, you can get into it.
That's funny because there's a bunch of military computers that are still running on military and on XP.
I believe it. Yeah. There's a lot of like hospitals and stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, but I was thinking we could, if you got that set up, I could help you set up like a little VPN device with another computer or Raspberry Pi or something. That would
filter the traffic.
Well, you just connect directly to like our local network, and then it'll be like you're networked with us. It'll isolate you from the internet, and then it would be like you were here playing with us.
All right.
So it wouldn't be too hard to set up.
Yeah, and here's the other thing. I think it would be. I think the other variable that we're not taking is people who've done it before versus people who are very regimented about how their day goes. And then how much sleep they get, stuff like that. Whereas with me, 4 hours is a good night. sometimes.
Well, but that's the thing is I feel like there are a lot of people who are chronically sleep deprived, and so they don't even know what it's like to not be sleep deprived.
Right.
They don't understand that they're running at a deficit.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know?
I think there's a lot of that, like with with our health in general, like with sleep, but also like again when I cut carbs and lost that weight, I explicitly remember it was like 2 or 3 weeks after I stopped like eating any carbs, and I had an infant, and I was used to, I gotta get out of bed in the middle of the night, and I was like slogging out of bed, and there was one night that like my inflammation had gone down so much that I didn't realize I was so inflamed that I almost fell over because it was so easy to get out of bed. Even though it was the middle of the night, I like went to like force myself up, and I almost fell over because like, whoa, that was like really easy, because I didn't realize how like just constantly inflamed I had been from all the junk that I had been eating consistently. And I feel like there's a lot of Americans just in that state because Americans eat junk all the time.
Yeah.
And if you cut out a bunch of junk, like people don't know how much better you feel just cleaning up what you eat. Like not even just cutting all the carbs, just stop eating gross processed stuff.
Or
Like,
yeah,
a jalapeno cheese spread.
Hey, hey now.
I experienced something similar recently when we started this 75 heart challenge, drinking a gallon of water a day. I still think a gallon is a little bit excessive, but I realized that I have been
She drinks like 2
gallons.
One. I'm a thirsty girl.
Well, anyway,
thirsty girl.
I realized I have been like chronically dehydrated for probably the past year and didn't even realize it because I got used to it.
Right.
And now, like, just the water has made me sleep better. And
Are you still feeling all the time though?
oh yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, it's slowed down a little
Well,
bit.
that was the thing we agreed on. It was whoever peed off the highest point of that house got to own the house, and I think I won everybody out of the house.
No, I'm taller than so there, I
You
keep
got that
taller.
$1 million house?
$3 million
Yes,
house.
yes,
Yeah.
You guys.
What?
What? It was just us.
Yeah.
Some other guy who was
Oh my God.
doing
The foam on the roof.
whatever he was doing. Yep.
Yeah. There's no
gonna be
cameras up
honest,
because
that's-
we're not
that's-
installing the
yeah.
cameras.
I'm gonna be honest, that's something that I'm really looking forward to if we get these 10 acres, being able to just go outside and pee,
Oh,
not
it's the
have
greatest
neighbors
thing
look
ever.
down their nose at you.
I mean, I live in town and I pee outside
Yeah.
all the time. Although I have my little spot
Yeah,
that's covered the angle so that like nobody just because it's like, okay, you pee one way, somebody sees your wang from the street.
yeah.
See the other way, somebody sees your wang walking down the alley. But I found my perfect little nook.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't he do that
See,
on
with
that
with how this house is situated, I could stand in the middle of the property and just let loose, and nobody could see.
We when I grew up, we owned 5 acres in New Jersey, and my dad used to just walk around naked. He's just like, he's like,
Why not?
I'd have to call my friends and be like, "Hey, just give me like 10 minutes," and then we come over.
I gotta get my dad dressed.
Yeah. And I didn't understand at the time. I thought it was super embarrassing. But as a man now, that's all I want. I just want to be able to walk around my house naked.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Once the kids go to bed, I'm usually at least down to my underwear.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? You know? Except then, like, oh man, I'll let the dogs out and the cat will sneak out, and then I have to like go put pants on to go get the cat.
You know what the secret is? Gym shorts. Seriously.
Yeah. I'm a real pants out of the house kind of guy.
Oh, loser.
No. Sometimes I will just put like pajama pants or gym shorts on to go get the cat. But I will say that's one thing. We talked about this before. If I'm gonna like leave the confines of my property to go do something, it's real shoes and real pants. I can't do gym shorts unless the exception is unless I'm going to the gym.
Or like, let me ask
It's
you,
a proper gentleman here.
how often do you fall asleep in regular pants?
Very rarely.
Okay. Because you need to be a different level of tired to do that. I can't. I've been up for however long I've been up at this point, and I'm gonna go, and I could not put pants on and go lay down and go to sleep. It is impossible.
When I was a kid, for years, I would just go to bed in my jeans.
Really?
I didn't take them off, didn't put on PJs. I just laid down in my jeans and went to sleep. I can't do it now. I don't know how I did it then, but for years, I would just sleep in what I wore in the day.
I will say I used to do that too, except I got to the, I don't know how old I was, but there was a certain point where I stopped wearing a shirt to bed, but I'd still wear my pants to bed.
So I have gotten where I'm wearing hoodies in bed again. I don't know what it is. I just I don't know.
See, I will still sleep in my pants when I'm camping,
Yes.
but that's because, otherwise I get cold.
Yes.
Well, that's not
Except
always
that one
true.
time we almost died.
I was gonna say that's not always true. Like if I'm camping in the summer, I'll usually strip down to my underwear.
Yeah.
And I can't sleep in a hoodie unless I'm like camping either.
Okay.
But I'll get down to my underwear and then go like curl up on the couch with a blanket and watch TV or whatever.
Are there any good places around you for is there any good place around you for camping? Or is it all kind of flat like if?
No, there are some good. So if you go far eastern Oklahoma, you start getting into the Ozarks.
Okay.
There's also the Wichita Nature Reserve, I think, the Wichita Mountains. And it's like a wilderness area where there's not any like campsites, but they'll give out in like 3-day stretches. They'll give out 10 camping permits at a time, so no more than 10 people are out there.
Oh, okay.
But it's like it's relatively small compared to like the national forest stuff out by you guys. But it's this space that you can just go and hike and camp and that sort of thing. I haven't done that yet, but that's on my list of places to try out.
We were just talking on the way to on the way to the other town this morning that I haven't gone camping in a year. February will be a year since I've been camping, and that's just unacceptable. Yeah, thanks, hon. Yeah.
I've been going twice a year because my son's in Cub Scouts.
Nice.
But Cub Scout camp out is a little less rugged than my preference.
You deal with kids.
When there's bathrooms right there and a full like propane kitchen set up and
so I'm excited. We got, as part of our emergency kit for the house, we got a composting toilet. Like composting toilet. It's a bucket with a seat. And then
have you tried it yet?
Put the stuff in it. But we got it for emergency stuff, but also we're like, man, we could take this camping.
Yes.
And so then the ladies don't have to dig holes and go squat in the woods. They can actually sit on a toilet.
I'm gonna fix that. I'm gonna have to go camping. It's unacceptable.
Yeah.
I also assume, I haven't looked in it that close yet, but I also assume out by the Panhandle there's probably a lot of good places that are just not necessarily like mountainous or anything, but getting out there, you start getting some of that pretty desert view, and there's not a whole lot of people that live out there, so you can get really remote.
Right.
Yeah.
I really want to go out there for the night sky, because I've heard that like the Panhandle is one of the few places in the U.S. where you can really get away from the light pollution.
Ooh, that sounds really exciting, actually. I'd really dig that.
Yeah. Do you have a camera you can take some long exposure shots?
We have a camera that I might be able to take long exposure shots with.
Okay.
I've never really messed around with it. Photography is more Whitney's thing.
Oh, okay. There you go.
But that might be how I could convince her to come camping with me, is to get out and take some cool night pictures.
Does she like camping?
Not particularly. I think that she would absolutely go when the kids are a little bit older. It's hard to go camping with an infant.
Yeah, well, that's kind of,
just give them a trout to play with; they'll be fine.
That's kind of our thing too. Is we haven't really done any camping with our children yet because they're still pretty small. But we're gonna make a point to do it this next summer. We've already been talking about it. So,
yeah, I took my oldest two together shortly after we moved here, and then, like I said, my oldest son is in Cub Scouts, so he's been camping quite a few times at this point. But yeah, I'm excited for all my kids to be older so we can do family camping trips and stuff too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Well, I think we're
Yep.
kind of running up on that time. So,
All right.
anything else you guys want to cover?
No, not really. Oh, yeah, there is one more thing. Think about things before you make an opinion. That's my advice for tonight. Think about things before you make an opinion.
Yeah.
I was just kind of talking about that with one of my friends today about how, because he's seeing the way that people react to politics, modern society, and people just like ignoring the blatantly wrong things and like, oh no, it's fine because he's on my team or she's on my team or whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, when did people get so illogical? I'm like, I don't think people became illogical. I think illogical is the default, and you have to work really hard to fight that kind of emotional response and to think things through before you make an opinion. But that's the only way you can actually sort out how to like effectively interact in the world is to stop, think about it before you decide, oh, I agree with this, I disagree with this is what we're going to do, sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah. I think it comes from logic is separate from emotional response, and our humans generally react emotionally first.
Yes.
And so
You really have to like
kind of-
practice and develop the logical skill to do it consistently and do it well. Whereas you don't have to practice being emotional. Like you're emotional when you're an infant and screaming because you're hungry. Like
yeah. But I think that's what it is they will, somebody will hear something that somebody says that they agree with generally and say, oh, well, it must be true or whatever. Or in politics, they will pick a side, left or right, and just stick with that because, I don't know, they don't want to sit there and be logical and actually think things through when most situations are not very black and white.
Nope.
Most
that's
situations,
like
there's truth from both sides, but both sides twist it in a way that's untruthful.
I don't remember if I'd mentioned this on here before. I forget who it was. I heard it from Jordan Peterson, but it might have been a Solzhenitsyn quote. I don't know. But the idea that people don't have ideas, ideas have people.
No?
So it's like people who become like ideologues, they get devoted to their ideology, and they're no longer directing what they do. They're just a mouthpiece for this ideology, whether that's left or right or whatever. Once you stop thinking for yourself and you just do whatever the ideology says, then you're no longer your own person.
Well, that kind of goes back to something that Ian and I were talking about earlier on the road is that sort of thing, those ideologies and ideas then become people's identities.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And then you just belong to this
that's
like
not good.
corrupted hive mind of ideology.
Yeah.
When I look at somebody, I don't think what's their sexual orientation. The first thing I think is are they a good person? Do they do their job well? Are they somebody that I can rely on?
Yeah.
And then I get to know them and I find out that they're a father or a mother or they're a teacher, they're a combat veteran. That's what defines them. It's not, these super like very, very shallow things that hold these people together. I don't agree with that. We're Americans, damn it. We need to act like it.
Yeah.
Well, it's coming up on MLK Day. It's the content of your character that matters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now,
was it, speaking of hive mind stuff, Nick, was it you that asked me if you murder a drone in a hive mind, are you committing murder or assault?
That was not me, but
That
that
was
is an
not me
interesting
either.
question. If the hive mind is truly unified, I would assume it's assault then, because you're not ending the life of the hive mind.
Yeah. Well,
You're just killing part of it.
Here's what I think. So I think it depends. So I would say Borg hive mind. If you kill a drone, that's murder because there's plenty of times where you see in Star
Because
Trek.
they have individuality still in them somewhere.
Yes, yeah, they're still able to take these drones and give their individuality back, even though they're part of the hive mind. But then, like, Oh, what was the other example I was thinking of when I answered this question? Whoever asked it to me, and now I've forgotten who's asked me what about this question.
Like maybe the Matrix robot hive minds. I don't know.
Yeah, no, there was another one I was thinking of. But yeah, but if it's like Ender's Game, if it's like the hive
The
mind
buggers.
Ender's Game, I would consider it assault. And I think the difference is like, okay, so with the Borg, you can take an individual drone and they can get their individuality back. With like Ender's Game, spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't read that book. Oh, okay. You know, when the queen dies, all the drones are basically dead in the water. So it's like one organism versus many organisms sharing a mind.
But then would that be
Well,
one
it's like
murder or 70,000 counts of murder?
One.
See,
well, it's like you're
of another or the essence of another thing. It is murder.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So like it would be murder, but if just taking one, if the hive mind, if all of the beings in the hive mind cease to live if you kill the queen or whatever, effectively killing the hive mind, then it's one organism with many separate parts.
So if you
well, because it's like if the human body is made up of so many different cells.
Yeah.
If you damage cells, you're not murder. Now I know it's there because they're like not individual entities, but you're not like killing a lot of different creatures. You're damaging the one creature. So like if the hive mind, like each member of the hive mind isn't an individual thing, but it is integral to this whole, and they just happen to be spatially disconnected from each other, then it's like killing punching somebody and damaging their cells as opposed to killing an independent being.
okay, but you kill a honeybee. That's you still killed. I mean, that's still
Yeah, but that would be like the Borg hive mind, like what I was saying before.
Okay.
Is there still individuals within the hive mind?
Okay.
But there's kind of two different as far as sci-fi goes, there's kind of two different hive mind styles that I see.
Right.
And I would say that the Borg is more like bees.
Right. Okay.
Whereas like individuals that are devoted to and connected with kind of the central mind, as opposed to disparate components of the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't have an answer for that. I don't.
I do.
You do?
That's why the story always flips to it doesn't matter what it was you killed, it matters what your attitude was when you killed it.
Why does it matter what your attitude was? If you committed murder, you've committed murder.
Do you feel bad about it?
Maybe you do, maybe you don't.
If you do, then you learned your lesson. If you don't, then it doesn't matter because you missed the.
Unless the hive mind was about to erase all of other life.
That's different.
Because
That's different.
that's self-defense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, maybe we should call it there then.
Yeah.
All right. Well, all right, Ian, what was any last thoughts, Ian?
Yeah. Don't be quick to look at things and get the wrong impression. Take your time. Look through things. It's Cop 101. Just because you think this is what happened is not at all what happened. You take your time, learn your lesson, take everything in, and make an informed decision.
Yeah. Nick, any final thoughts?
Just second that, yeah. Even especially with like the way the news cycles go and the things that pop up to try and inflame people, it's like wait until you're able to get as much information as you can before you make up your mind about a situation, because there've been plenty of times where we've had situations and it comes out like, oh, it's this thing, and then like a week later there's more reports like, oh, well, maybe it wasn't that thing. So just wait until you have all the information before passing judgment, coming up with your opinion on what's going on.
And I'll leave y'all with Stargate is better than Star Trek and Star Wars.
Yeah,
Whatever.
that's true.
Whatever.
It's true.
Stargate's
Star Wars is a close second, but Stargate is number one.
See, we had this conversation earlier too. Star Trek. I might like Star Trek more than Star Wars. But anyway,
You can be wrong. It's
thank
okay.
you all for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.
Good to see you guys.